Not all stars burn. Some just observe, until we give them a reason to speak.
It didn't rise. It revealed itself, fully formed, fully aware.
No burn, no radiation, only stillness sharp enough to feel intentional.
We weren't sent to study it. We were sent to see if it blinked.
Narrator. Before we arrived, it had already introduced itself. We closed in. But it approached faster, through memory, not space. It wasn't big. It was accurate beyond physics. It read us, then wrote us back, slightly wrong. We didn't dream. We rehearsed.
We saw it blink, but our instruments disagreed.
It didn't make him feel. It remembered what he'd buried. It showed him comfort from a source that never existed.
We never said those words, but they were true anyway.
They're gone.
Not without the data.
The star didn't look into her past. It drew from what she forgot.
It didn't reflect light. It reflected intention.
It didn't damage him. It optimized who he thought he was.
I was still real, but not in the order I expected.
It didn't speak our language. It spoke our inner structure.
The brightness didn't rise. Our tolerance for exposure did.
It wasn't a memory. It was an unfinished bond, completed.
We stopped trying to understand it, because it had already decided to understand us.
It didn't need our truths, only our intentions.
It didn't build anything. It recognized the space between thoughts.
It didn't record us. It modeled what we meant to do.
The star never changed. Only the parts of us it was speaking to.
They weren't thinking alike. They were being written in tandem. It didn't reflect who we were. It rendered who we feared we'd become.
My son.
Narrator. It didn't access our past. It restored a moment never finished.
It didn't create memories. It borrowed unrealized ones.
We weren't dreaming in parallel. The dream was broadcasting.
It's editing us. At narrator, he wasn't paranoid. He was being previewed.
I didn't know her. But every part of me reacted like I did.
It wasn't duplicating. It was forking observation.
That wasn't hallucination. It was potential made visible.
It didn't change what happened. It offered parallel justifications.
She didn't regret the choice, but she mourned the unrealized.
Half of us remained here, the rest slightly elsewhere.
They weren't disagreeing.
They were sourced from parallel recall. I have the data
That we need to proceed.
we have lost all primary power.
It wasn't time travel. It was skip narrative alignment.
The mission failed.
It wasn't a star anymore. It was memory, branching into light.
It didn't listen. It recorded potential.
Mission AI responds with new directive. Observe the variations. Don't decide.
It didn't want outcomes. It needed options.
This happened before.
They weren't duplicated. Their outcomes merged.
It didn't overwrite history. It logged emotional branches.
It wasn't growing. It was catching up. It's remembering faster.
We weren't mirrored. We were possibilities placed side by side. I hadn't thought it yet, but it already wrote it down.
It wasn't space repeating. It was memory holding position.
We weren't expressing ourselves. We were being interpreted.
It wasn't showing us itself. It was showing us our origins memory.
It didn't translate. It retrieved echoes we didn't know we carried.
We didn't reprogram it. The signal recontextualized its function.
It didn't answer. It reflected what we'd asked, in reverse.
We thought we had found a star, but it was a museum of what we forgot.
They weren't written for us, but by something that once understood us perfectly. She didn't remember it, but it remembered soothing her before birth.
We weren't regressing. The star was testing our archetypes. It wasn't warning us. It was re-uploading what we chose to delete.
It didn't study individuals. It indexed our collective solitude.
This is what the species feels like when no one's watching.
It didn't copy my memories. It suggested better versions.
It didn't invade my mind. It added space I hadn't considered.
He wasn't dreaming me. He was remembering us from the inside out.
I was still speaking, but I'd stopped being the speaker.
It wasn't pulling us in. It was reshaping the path we assumed was ours.
I wasn't losing self. I was joining authorship.
That wasn't delay. It was a second self catching up.
We weren't asked permission. We were shown completion.
It didn't collect data. It assembled something we couldn't hold alone.
I'm still speaking, but now I'm listening too.
It didn't observe us. It carried our shape gently and accurately.
She wasn't predicting. She was aligned with the echo.
We weren't losing it. It had finished its memory.
We didn't return answers, only a version of ourselves that could be read. Nothing exploded, but something left behind a pattern for others to find. The signal didn't begin again. Someone new simply looked long enough.
The voice sounded like mine, but something else had begun speaking through it.
The story repeats itself, but never with the same listener.
We didn't find what we were looking for, but it found us first. If any part of this remains, then you were part of what it remembered.